It's Zelda time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Figma number 632. It's Ganondorf in the Tears of Kingdom version. And this is another Figma where we get a nice and fancy slider if you're wondering, where's the window? Where's the figure? Well, it is right here. You can see the back of the box. It's basically the same. And then boom, we got the guy. He's big, he's chunky, and he's freaking massive. Honestly, one of the most menacing versions of Ganon. I mean, he looks like a fighter in this version, like a warrior. So let's see if Figma succeeded in making a figure that's actually worthy of the mighty Ganondorf. Oh, and while you're here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. I really need your support to keep this channel afloat, keep the algorithm going, so I can pump out more videos. And for the question of the day, well, what's your favorite version of Ganondorf? Is it this one? Is it the Ocarina of Time? Who knows? Let me know. First impressions, he has small feet, but he's big. Is he big enough? Let's have a look. He stands at about, let me line this up correctly, 18.5 centimeters to the top of the head, and if we adding the man bun, that's like 19.5, a little bit over that even. For your inches, we are going up to 7.5-ish to the top of the head, and we're going up to almost 8, 7 and 9 points for the man bun. Size comparisons. Here's Jolter, Yes Age Figure Arts, Son Goku, Tears of Kingdom Link, A Link Between Worlds, Link, Twilight Princess Link, Twilight Princess Zelda, Nendoroid Korone, and Darkseid. So, as we've seen, he's big, but is he big enough? No, absolutely not. There's definitely some size missing. Link should not be that high up, so, yeah, disappointing, but I kind of expected. We've seen the promo shots, and when Figma tries to do something a little bit bigger, I appreciate the effort, but yeah, they usually fall flat on their face. But speaking of face, haha, we do have a phenomenal face sculpt. I love this look. We have all kinds of strains going on throughout the hair, and the paint is also very properly applied. I don't have any paint bleeding. I don't have anything going over the line. Now, what you might notice is that his eyes are hidden behind the face mold. It's not molded into the face, but is instead a separate piece. Which, it doesn't say in the instruction, I don't know if it's like supposed to be a feature. But boom, there you go. You have the eye plate. It should be removable. I don't know, I probably have a look on that later. But back to the figured hand. So, what you will notice about the paint also, and that's one of my favorite parts of this guy, is the gold. Yeah, I know, dumb people like me like shiny things, sue me. But what really elevates this guy is the entire color scheme is so freaking muted and dark, and then you have this nice shiny gold metallic which really just pops all over the place. Also with his big freaking ponytail, has some more gold on there. I mean, it looks phenomenal, and it stands out in the best way possible. Now, some people might also argue that, you know, we have the entire necklace which is molded onto the figure. Well, maybe this should have been a separate piece, but I don't hate it, because if you have a separate piece, it just kind of waggles all over the place and gets a lot harder to put it into place and put it into some cool poses. Now you can put it in a pose because it's just locked onto the figure, but you know, I don't mind. Also, we have some tattoos kind of hidden under the beautiful gold. And you know, I'm just showing all the detail because you can tell there's nothing that just goes over the line. Well, this is like a separate piece, so that makes it a lot cleaner. What's not so clean is this freaking sleeve. I mean, the paint in there is wonderful, but then you have this big ugly hinge and it just kind of stops, and yeesh. What is that? What are those? And also just lines up if you pull it out like that. Not too great. Going down to his muscle work and the big freaking abs with some bandages going around and a little bit more purple. Now, this figure also would have really benefited from some shading, but it's Figma, so they're not really doing shading. But just saying, Imagine some more shading, especially on the body sculpt. Would have been pretty nice. Then we go down to the legs, and yeah, we have some more of the articulation hanging out and not looking too great. But we also have some more gold around his feet. And what we've just lost is the entire part of the back cape. Well, not really cape. But it's connected just to this piece, and taking him out of the box immediately fell off. Now that's not a big issue because I just gonna glue this stuff back in there. But it's just really annoying, especially for like a super expensive figure. But I guess it gives me a chance to show you the painted detail inside of his robe, which is pretty nice. But yeah, why is that glue not holding? And now we get to the articulation, which is a lot more interesting with this guy because, you know, Figma doesn't get away with doing their standard stuff for this. So we do have a ball hinge in the hair sculpt, which can be brought up and down and also can be swiveled around. Oh, and I just noticed there's also like a tiny hinge where you can move his hair up and down. Groovy. Now for the head sculpt, we do have a ball hinge in there that's connected to the back, so you can bring it back and forth. Can tilt side to side, not too much. And it does also go all the way around. Now, also, I want to mention that everything is nice and stiff with the joints, except for the ankles. Those could be a little bit better. And then we just have like a hinge in the neck area. I think it is a hinge. Has a little bit of wiggle motion. Maybe it is on a ball and just doesn't have any room. Bit of a shame. Then we have a butterfly joint, which doesn't really accomplish that much because everything else is just somewhat blocked. So this is as much forward motion as you get. And, I mean, you know, I guess I'm okay with it. But yeah, you do also have the ball hinge in there. So you can bring that up and down. And also disappointing that since you haul all of this out, that it doesn't go up more than this. Yeah. I mean, even if I pull it out maybe a little bit, then it's just this entire thing disconnects. Then we also have a bicep swivel. This one's really stiff. Do have a big hinge on this side, and well, I guess on the other side we have a double jointed elbow, which is quite nice. Why not do that more often? And also have like a ball hinge for the fist, bring that up and down. And as you notice, those are like, a lot of it is like standard Figma joints, but they're a lot bigger. And again, we do have just a lazy hinge for the coat part on this side, and as I already shown you, we do have this weird hinge for the sleeve, which I don't like. Also, these parts are like soft plastic, but the connection of this is so tiny that if you wiggle this around too much, it's gonna break off. Trust me. So we do have, for the chest articulation, we have a ball hinge, which it seems like it wants to disconnect. That's a great sign, right? Ball hinge goes into pack into another ball. So forward motion, let me get the arms out of the way. Forward motion is actually fine for such a big guy. And then you shift it a little bit to the back. The backward motion, he's not really that much on leaning backwards. Lean back. Lean back. But you really have to shift the ball in there. I mean, overall, it is nice. You can also swivel it. Not quite all the way. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't want to force it too much. Do we have any scratches on the black yet? Not really. Nothing too noticeable. But again, if you do stuff like that too much, you're gonna scratch the paint. Then, for the hip part, yeah, there's not... Okay. There's not really that much going on. Can rotate this, can bring it side to side, can bring it back and forth. And you know, I'm just going to show you, have a hinge over here, which is connected to the entire rope. The entire rope then lifts up with it, because the rope itself is not connected anywhere other than this freaking part. That's why it's disconnecting. Then we also have the side skirts of the rope over here, which are just packed into like a little ball. And you can see it in there. You have the ball. So you can rotate that, bring it up and down just a teensy tiny bit. I mean, it's alright. It's not too much going on with it. And also, oh yeah, we also have this on like a tiny ball hinge. So you can bring that, but be really careful with these tiny freaking ball joints. Now for the leg. Moves up in there. You can see there's just a ball connected to it. But it also goes to the back and out to the side, no problem. You can barely swivel it on there because the ball is so big, so that's why they added a fire swivel, which, I don't know, man, this looks freaking awful. Why is it so wide? It does not line up at all with this, the upper part. So then we have some more simple hinges for the knee. I mean, again, it does get the job done, and I guess this one doesn't even look that bad. It's very simplistic though, which from such an expensive figure you might wish for a little bit better engineering. And then we add to the feet, you have the ball hinge over there, which does go up and down and does tilt side to side, and you also have a toe hinge. And yeah, from all the joints, this one is like the most wobbliest, and which is great because that kind of like just stabilizes the entire figure. You can stand them up without the base, but really be careful because again, the weak joints in his ankles are his entire downfall, literally. Okay, so we got a bunch of accessories. Let's get through it. First and foremost, you do have the figma base, now like the figma crane with like a massive freaking arm, which is nice and tight, and I appreciate that. So he doesn't fall over, so at least they thought of that. It's really like funny because it's like the regular figma base, but just like enhanced and bigger, and you even have like this peg, which is, I can't get it off, but you can tell it's on there. Also have the figma back, which seems a little bit bigger than usual. I didn't really check, but anyway, that's just bags and bases. Who cares about that? Let's look at this beautiful freaking sword. It has like a gold inscription on the lower half. And yeah, handle nice and gold with a bunch of detail on there. And once again, the paint job really shines. Then also you have a sheath, so you can put your sword in there. Do you put your sword in there, or do you just like... I didn't check on that. Like, Figma often... Yeah, they put an entire thing in. Figma often does something where it just take the blade off, but not a great connection, by the way. It does not hold on to it anyway. We also have... Well, this is not part of the sword. This is... what do you call this weapon again? This is like a Japanese or like a Chinese weapon. We have a blade on a stick. Yeah, that's all I can do to describe it. Once again, the metallic really shines, really pops with the gold. Also, now this piece, why is it soft plastic and why is it connected like that? This should be, this would have been really cool if it was metal. Man, we have like a dragon head on there. And we have the staff with some more gold on the lower hand. Another spike on there. Great look. And then we do have a bow and an arrow, which has some more gold on there. And the bow actually... Can you take this one apart? Yeah, okay. So, if you're always wondering, how do I get the hand nice and properly in there, you can just take the bow, take this piece apart. And we have a fire effect, which looks pretty dark, has like a little bit of a hint of red. And this one, yeah, you just kind of stick it on to the bow, and you take it apart for the arrow. So it's just like this. I haven't tried it out yet, but you can open it, if I can do this. And then you have, clearly you can see where you're supposed to put in the bow, and clearly you can see where you're supposed to line the bow, the arrow, and whatnot. What did I say? Did I say arrow? Did I say bow? This is the arrow. You have no metallic on there. This is just like a matte arrow. Where's the metallic? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, then we have the faces. We have like an angry yelling face and a smiling face. Both of them, like, the mouth looks kind of the same. Obviously it has like a little bit of a different angle, but yeah. Once again, have the his eyes, kind of maniacal in there. And I also have, like, for these ones, you also have the mouth is a single piece. You cannot take this one out, because you can't. Well, you could probably if you play around with it, but then you might break your figure. But once again, kudos for them for doing that, because it looks really clean and you don't have to worry about paint bleeding and whatnot. So really doing us a favor there. And then for the hands, we have like two holding hands, obviously for the sword and whatnot. And then we have like these two open hands, booby grab hands, big. He has big hands. And then we have one to hold on to the bow and the arrow. And also you have like a giant pack to replace his wrist pack if that ever breaks off. Final thoughts, and oh my god, does this guy look great. And playing around with the figure actually is a lot of fun because of the joints being nice and sturdy, except for the ankles. Payne's amazing, accessories are great for the most part, and that's about as much as I can say about the positive. The negatives, some of the articulation points really do look wonky. The engineering part of Figma is not really the strongest. really could have done with maybe 1 or 2 more sets of hands, and then the ankles. Why do the ankles have to be so freaking weak? So what does that mean in general? Yeah, this is also pretty expensive figma, but it is a lot more of a big one. So, I don't know. Paint-wise, I just say, for me, it's the look that really gets it. Even though he's not tall enough, he is tall. He does tower a lot, over a lot of your figmas. And the paint job is amazingly done, and the posability is really fun. So, I really recommend this one if you're a fan of Ganon, but, you know, just be aware, it definitely is a figure that has its flaws. So, that's gonna do it, guys, as usual. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like, and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure views, VTuber stuff, and whatever Ganondorf wants.